What? Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. You take my money, misappropriate it, basically stealing it from me, and then you hire a lawyer to get more money out of me?
Right to jail, right away.
Hey guys, welcome to the Movie Lovers Podcast, a video podcast about real filmmakers having real discussions about real life. Topics include movies, TV, current events, tech news, and more. I'm your host, Lisa, filling in for me and my co-host, who is currently on hiatus. And we are going to be diving into some interesting topics today. Got some movie news, got some current event news, and I got some interesting tech news about TikTok. So let's dive in. First up in movies and TV checked out, I watched Lights Out with my family. Well, I rewatched. It was the first time for them, third time for me. This is the 2016 horror movie. So this movie was actually based on a short. They pulled out a short film, and then from there, I think they pitched it or, however, decided to make it a full-length film. Basically, this family is dealing with their mother's past. So the stepfather just recently died under mysterious circumstances. And the oldest daughter, who has a strained relationship with her mom, she doesn't really live there. She realizes that her brother is experiencing problems. And come to find out, Mama Duke's got a supernatural best friend who is terrorizing the family. And it gets real scary. The supernatural friend is only able to affect you or you even see her in the dark. When it comes to lights coming on, she's gone. She can't hurt you, nothing. But when lights go out, you better run, because she coming. The family loved this film. I mean, I knew they would. It was a good time, and it is full of scares. It's a very simple concept. It's done well. It occurs over a span of maybe a couple days or a few days. And surprisingly, an ending that's very satisfying. And not what you'd expect. I personally didn't see it coming. But I feel like it's one of those endings where everyone can walk away feeling good about it. I don't want to give anything away. But the movie stars Teresa Palmer, who, let me see what she was in. She was in Warm Bodies, which is a horror comedy. My favorite genre. So Warm Bodies, a horror comedy that I absolutely freaking love. I watched that movie so many times. I'm probably going to watch it again with the kids. Oh my gosh, I could watch it again with them. Yes. Okay. Sorry. So she was also in that. She played the love interest, where it was in a world where zombies were ruling, and it was the last hold of humanity. And technically a zombie falls in love with her. And that's about as much as I can tell you without giving away anything. And I know it sounds really weird, but it was the romantic horror comedy I didn't know that I needed, but wanted. Full recommend. Watch that. She was also in Eye Number 4, which I think that was based on a book series. They were supposed to do sequels, but I feel like the first movie wasn't received that well. Plus the lead actor, Alex Pettyfer, he did or said some troubling things or had some trouble. The movie just wasn't well received, so they couldn't bring themselves to make a sequel. At this point, I'm number 4 was, when was this? 2012? Shocked they haven't tried to make a remake. Shocked. Okay? Oh, I'm sorry, 2011. Even less. Wow. And then I watched Companion with Jack Quaid and Sophie Thatcher. And let me tell you, another horror comedy. Listen, I was just in my horror bag, okay? Because I watched Happy Death Day. This literally is Groundhog's Day meets Scream. Basically, a young college student is reliving the same day over and over again, her birthday, except she's being killed every day. She's getting murked, okay? She's getting murked. And she keeps coming back and reliving the same day again, trying to figure out who's murking her. Definitely watch that. Full recommend. And then I watched the recently released Companion with Jack Quaid and Sophie Thatcher. And that one, my. What an interesting movie that was. That one circles around a weekend getaway. A guy takes his girlfriend, meet with his friends at some kind of like, not really a cabin. It's like a secluded, rich house. And one of the friends, like she's dating the guy who owns the house. So they're hanging out, and then you find out that his girlfriend who he brought is a AI companion. Also a sex robot. And don't worry, that's kind of like in the marketing, and it's on technically the cover of the movie, and it's revealed early on. So I'm not really spoiling that for you. But what happens after is where things get wild. So let me see what I can say, because it's such a new movie. I don't want to spoil too much, but things go awry, okay, when one of the other guests wants to also have their way with the AI lady. She only has eyes for Jack Quaid, so she doesn't want to get down like that. And so she accidentally, defending herself, marks it. And from there, crap hits the fan. They are scrambling to try to solve the situation, try to get things going. It's also very comedic. I call it a horror comedy, but it's also more of a dark comedy because there's not that many horror elements. It's not like she is this vicious AI who is trying to hunt them down. It's actually the reversal. They are trying to hunt her down because of what happened, and she's running away. She just wants to get away. And the commentary on this that I find interesting is the fact that it's not some AI's evil story. This is now kind of blurring the lines of the morality, the questionable morality and choices that some of these characters make. You kind of get a chance to see the dark side of humanity. And in this, it's like, who are the monsters again? Is it the AI who's not real, or the flawed humans? Which is kind of like refreshing, but to say the least, right? But either way, very great movie. Had a fun time with it. Recommend checking it out. Hard recommend. Like, it was a really good movie week. You know, revisited a couple of classics and fell in love with a new one. All right, first movie news story of the week. Want Coyote versus Acme to be released? Go buy a ticket for The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie. Looney Tunes, classic animated characters. Love them. So they released their first ever fully animated solo Looney Tunes movie. So they've had movies before with Looney Tunes, but those have been live action in a way. Like, I think Brendan Fraser was in one a while back, some years ago, where it's kind of like a Who Framed the Roger Rabbit situation, where it's like, okay, you got actual cartoon characters and live action people paired up. But this movie is fully 2D animated. I have missed 2D animation, let me just tell you. Missed it. So in this movie, which is again called The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie, Daffy Duck, Porky Pig, and Petunia Pig are looking to save Earth from the devious scheme of an alien known as the Invader. Already the concept sounds pretty fun, not gonna lie. It just released March 14th. Yeah, it just released March 14th. So last Friday? Okay. And currently is doing very well on Rotten Tomatoes. I know, I don't fully get on board with Rotten Tomatoes. Okay, I'm not really a Rotten Tomatoes type of person, but I do refer to them from time to time. And if you've got critics giving an 86% and audience giving it an 88%, okay, you've got the tomato meter and the popcorn meter, that is saying something. And it is getting critically reviewed well. Box office wise, so it is not pulling in as much money, though. People aren't going to go see it. And I feel like there's a couple of reasons why. One, Looney Tunes hasn't been a thing for a while. they haven't really introduced it into the new generations, right? There hasn't been Looney Tunes show like that for them to kind of latch on to, as far as I know. Merchandising, again, no other movies, nothing to kind of like bring them into the fold like they have with Sonic, right? Or Super Mario Brothers, which again, there's also video games to kind of piggyback on that. So there's that. Secondly, the marketing for this movie has been blah. Most people don't even know this movie is out or came out. Some people might not even know this movie exists. And I only know this movie exists because I think I did a trailer reaction, or I was looking to do a trailer reaction, and I was happening to Google it a few months ago, and I was like, wait, they're making a Looney Tunes movie? Like, I had no idea until that point. And then forgot about it until I came across this article. What are y'all doing? Just market it on YouTube. That's where the freaking kids are. TikTok is still a thing, which we're going to talk about later. Snapchat is still a thing. And I think YouTube is the #1 search engine. Or did it take the crown away from Google yet? I mean, Google owns YouTube, so it doesn't really matter. It's not really competition, but you get what I'm saying. Technically, this episode drops to Friday, hopefully. Editing is crazy. As of Monday, March 17th, it has pulled in about $3.5 million between the United States and Canada, and $2.1 million in other territories. So worldwide, $5.6 million. It's been out for a week. And I know it's only like over a span of 3 days I'm giving you these numbers for, but it is a premiere. It should be doing better. Especially it being like a family film and kids movie. It should be doing gangbusters. I don't think it has any other competition right now. I don't think any other movie that I can think of is out now that's like kid friendly. The production budget for this movie was $15 million. So in order for it to be worthwhile for Warner Brothers to have made it, I think it has to pull in, because they have to split with whatnot. So it has to make over $30 million. Over. Probably has to make over $40 million. Because here's the thing. You want to cover your budget. But then you have to share proceeds and profits with the theaters. You know, they only get a portion of what theaters, the theaters and the movies studios share the profits. So if 30 million comes in, then maybe 15 million to studios, maybe 15 million to theaters. I don't know the exact splits, but it's some, But then there's also advertising and marketing. That usually costs. However, you've already discussed that they didn't really do any advertising and marketing. So maybe all they really have to do is make $30 million. Okay. You know what? I'm going to take my kids to go see this. I want to help. I'm going to help as best as I can to support Looney Tunes, because when I was a kid, they were huge. And then they had Tiny Toons, I think it was called, where they had younger versions of them, but you still have the Looney Tunes. Like, okay, so you've had the Looney Tunes who were crazy, doing all kind of stuff. And then they came out with Tiny Toon Adventures, where they had Buster Bunny and Babs Bunny, who were younger, but Bugs was still in the show. It was like them going to school, and all of the instructors and teachers were like the old school Looney Tunes. You had Plucky, who was just another version of Daffy Duck. I cannot remember everyone else's names. Dang it. Buster Bunny, Babs Bunny, no relation. Okay. Anyway, moving on. So the reason why we want to support this movie, you want to go out, you want to watch it, is not only to bring money to the studios, right? But it's to make it worthwhile for them to make more 2D animation. As much as I love and enjoy Pixar, movies like Encanto and Coco, like great movies. Toy Story, I love the animation, so cool. I also enjoy 2D animation. There's so much more you can do with 2D animation. And we have kind of not done that much. And I know that it's still something that people are interested in, because anime is so successful, and that is largely 2D animation, as far as I know. So they would do more 2D animation if we go see it, right? Secondly, if we support this movie there's a chance they might release Coyote versus Acme. Y'all remember? It was a movie that they had kind of shelved for tax purposes. Like, it was filmed, everything. And they didn't release it because they realized Warner Bros. Realized it was more beneficial to them to shelve it and write it off as a tax write-off. So they never released it. The general audience never saw it. And it's literally about Wile E. Coyote. For my fans out there who are aware of Wile E. Coyote, he would buy Acme products to try to get the Roadrunner because he wants to eat him. And they always failed and turned on him. So he was taking Acme to court. Now, this one wasn't fully animated. This one was a combination of 2D characters in live action. Like, again, Who Framed Roger Rabbit. And it had Will Forte, who was his lawyer, I think, his defense lawyer. And then the prosecutor was John Cena. Interesting. See, like, people love John Cena. Kids too. So they did some good casting. The concept is very interesting. I would like to know it. So if they see that there is a market, a true desire for these movies, and we go watch the Looney Tunes, then they'll be like, oh, maybe we'll release Wile E. Coyote versus Acme, because that's a freaking shame that you have a whole ass movie done and ready and you didn't release it. They did the same thing to Batgirl. Never released it. It's fully done, I believe. Never released it. Scoob, Holiday Haunt. Haven't heard that one before, but that one's when they didn't release. They shelved that as well. Stop making stuff and not releasing it. Pissing me off. This is why indie might be the way to go. Creatives, fellow filmmakers, just saying. It's hard. It's a hard road, but at the end of the day, no one can tell you that your movie can't get made or released. Because they were originally going to try to sell it, right? They were going to try to sell Wile E. Coyote versus Acme, but they were like, we want like $80 million. And people were like, dude, that's way over asking price. No. So no streamers picked it up. So they were like, okay, fine. Tax write-off. Piss off your whole audience. And, not even your audience. Piss off everyone who worked on it. The actors, the directors, the crew. All right. So they have not done any real advertising or promo for this Looney Tunes movie. It feels like it's on purpose. Like, they didn't even do where you pair up with like Burger King or McDonald's or Wendy's and offer a toy with the value meal. I mean, with the kids meal. Do they still do those things? My kids are kind of older now, and we don't really do Happy Meals like that anymore. So I don't know. Oh, did I also forget to mention that Max, I was about to say HBO, but now it's Max, whatever, removed Looney Tunes from their platform. I mean, all the shorts gone. So if you were one of those people who was, from time to time going to Max, popping in, one of the Looney Tunes shorts, or from like 1930, 1969, did all those shorts. Rabbit season, duck season, rabbit season, duck season. Those are gone. They removed them. Their incentive is to move towards more adult entertainment and more family entertainment. It's not just for kids. So that's why they're getting rid of Sesame Street. They're getting rid of Looney Tunes, which is so weird because Warner Brothers is Looney Tunes. Like, that's like another YouTuber has said that it's like Disney getting rid of Mickey Mouse. That's your kid mascot. What are you talking about? So I don't know if they're going to sell them. I don't know what they're doing. I have no idea what they're doing. They have not included me in their decisions. So your guess is as good as mine. But what do you guys think about all this news? What do you think about these moves that Warner Brothers is making? And are you going to try to check out Looney Tunes? Don't wait for it to come to streaming. Let's try to go check it out. Bring your kids. Or just go by yourself. It's Looney Tunes. I'm pretty sure there's something fun for everyone. Next up, iconic horror franchise may be over as 11th movie stalls. The Saw series might be donezo, guys. The screenwriters Patrick Melton and Marcus Dunstan revealed that zero progress has been made on the franchise's next installment, Saw 11, after they turned an initial draft last spring. So like over a year ago? Yikes. Melton, who has been involved with the series since Saw 4 in 2007, wow, told the outlet it stalled at managerial. Okay, it stalled on I keep wanting to say imagine. It stalled at a managerial level. It has nothing to do with the creative or anything else. There's higher level things at play. Lionsgate had announced back in December of 2023 that the 11th movie will be releasing September of 2024. As you can see, it is now March 2025, and we have no movie. They didn't even start filming, I don't think. No. So apparently Saw 11 was slated to tackle a timely story, which he likened to the franchise's 2009 film, Saw 6. The one where health insurance companies get targeted by the series' notorious murderer, John Kramer. I don't think I even saw 6. I think I tapped out after Saw 3 or 4, and then I came back in and watched Saw X. I skated right over Saw 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. It taps into the same themes of Saw 6, where you're a citizen. You feel angry and frustrated with something. You feel like you can't do anything. And John Kramer's going to do it. Why does this sound so familiar? Can't quite put my finger on it. Feel like this theme is some form of art, imitating life, imitating art type of thing. Oh, yes, that's right. Luigi, who murked the CEO for United Healthcare last year, December. So, could it be that the holdup for this whole movie is because of what happened to that CEO last year and them not wanting to kind of encourage the support of those actions or glamorize those actions that Luigi took? Nah, you know it's money. There's intersquabbling between producers and Lionsgate. Okay, creative control. Yeah, apparently they can't get on the same page, which usually means they can't agree on the money. Because it's producers who are in charge. Well, not always, but producers tend to find the money, or kind of like the different levels of producers. There's like a bunch of different types of producers, but some are in charge of the budget, some are in charge of, distribution, all the fun things, But I'm guessing money is the driving force for this. They didn't say, but it feels like money is the driving force for this. Which is a shame, because Saw X really brought me back into the fold. Like, for me, Saw X felt like a return. Saw 1 was excellent, right? It's the one that shattered the genre, right? Saw 2, I felt was a good sequel. Saw 3, I'm like, oh, okay, we're doing the whole thing. We're bringing, I think that's the one with the house, right? I think. And I don't remember if I even saw 4, if I'm being honest with you. But then I just was like, okay, you guys lost me. I'm out of the loop. And then here comes Saw X with this concept of bringing Jigsaw story more to the forefront. And you see what happened with him. And I'm like, run it. Saw X, okay, it earned $112 million globally. Its budget was $13 million. So it made over 8 times what it cost. That's why they're working on Saw 11. Never forget, movie making is a business. They want returns. Wow. Okay. So check this out. The budget for Saw X was $13 million. The budget for the original Saw movie was $1.2 million. That's only an $11 million difference. So here's the point I want to make with that. They're from movie 1 to movie 10. Now, I'm sure there's been variations in the budget in between from 1 to 10. But 1, the budget is $1 million, right? And number 10 is $13 million. So there has not been this crazy inflation, even with its success, even with the cult falling, even with all this, with everything. They have not bloated the budget. They have kept to their roots of being minimalistic. They have the added benefit of most of the time, the majority of the movie occurring in one location. They don't always have to go all over the place. So that helps also, to be fair. And they don't require big name actors to carry it. So those are two things they were working for them. But do you see how they've kind of not gone crazy? Now let me tell you another comparison. Joker. The original Joker budget was $55 million. Joker 2, Folie à Deux, $200 million. You nearly quadrupled the budget. And again, that doesn't include marketing. I have not seen Joker 2 yet, but I will. And I will be doing a Hot Take Tuesday live on my Instagram, NXG Global Productions, probably next month with my guests. So just, be on the lookout for that. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that wild? I feel like, here's the thing. The first one made was it like $1 billion? Yeah, $1 billion, over $1 billion. So they were like, oh, what's 200 million? Drop. Now we're gonna make $2 billion this time. Not when you change things up so drastically from what I'm hearing. Not when you make it a musical. Not when you kind of reset the character. Not when you allude to things or put out stuff in the trailer that didn't even actually happen in the movie. Wow, that was interesting that they did that. Anyway, so yeah, that, I don't know. Horror fans, how we feeling? Checking in? You guys okay? I know this is kind of like a blowback, but hopefully they can get things right. We'll have to see how you guys feel about this. And have you watched all of the 10 Saw movies? All right, guys. You know what time it is. Our reboot news of the week. This one's a doozy. Chappie director Neill Blomkamp to tackle new Starship Troopers movie adaptation at Sony. That's right, ladies and gents. Starship Troopers is getting the reboot treatment. Alrighty. So, for those that don't know, Starship Troopers, which originally came out in 1997, was a funny sci-fi dystopian movie about the future where we're fighting bugs from outer space. Giant bugs from outer space, might I add. When this movie came out, it was wildly misunderstood, but it still did well at box office. It brought in $121 million. But what was the budget? What? The budget's $100 million. Wait a minute. Hold on. This movie cost $100 million to make and only brought in $121 million? Ain't no freaking way. Well, here's the problem with that. They went on to make like 2 or 3 sequels. What confidence did they have? This thing barely made back its budget. Hold on. No. Yep, it was a flop. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me just say that I'm a fan of Starship Troopers.
I'm doing my part. I'm doing my part.
I did my part. I watched the movie in theaters and enjoyed it. It was so ridiculous. The only good bug is a dead bug. Oh, you guys have to watch it. It's so ridiculously funny. But just the first one. All right, so the director of Chappie and District 9 is going to be bringing a new adaptation. So he's remaking it. But he's not going to be following the footsteps of the first one. No, duh. Did you see the box office? So the first one was more of a blend, according to the article I agree with, a blend of on-the-nose satire, bug-based slaughter, and shockingly adept commentary on America's potential susceptibility to Nazism or Nazi-like ideology. Interesting choice of words in our current climate. So he's not doing any of that. He wants to focus more on the rookie soldier, Juan, Johnny Rico's character, his rise through the military ranks. So I feel like he's going to be taking this way more seriously than the first one did. Although the first one had some very interesting, interesting bug kills. So cool. So cool. They weren't killing real bugs, guys. For those who were worried. Although I feel like if there's like an 80-foot beetle coming after you, regardless of how you feel about animals, you'd want that one to die. Just saying. I have not seen Chappie. What was Chappie about? In the near future, crime is patrolled by a mechanized police force. When one police droid, Chappie, is stolen and given new programming, he becomes the first robot with the ability to think and feel for himself. Okay. I heard good things about Chappie. I just never got a chance to watch it. But I did watch District 9, and I thought that was well done. So this is the same director. And now he's going to tap into this. Well, he does pretty well with sci-fi. I trust his take on different things. Let's see. Sorry, I just see where the article talks about the Total Recall remake of 2012. Oh, that was a mistake. So this time around, they want to do a more faithful adaptation to the book, which I didn't even know the Starship Troopers was a book. The book was controversial? Oh, okay. Y'all know I gotta read the book, right? My book list and my movie list are growing congruently. They wanted to remake Starship Troopers as early as, I think, 2016. They were looking to remake it, honestly. But they just never got around to doing it. Did you guys watch any of the sequels? I did not. I was only faithful to the first one. I did not see any of these sequels that they're talking about. 2, 3. Okay, so there's 3, possibly 4. Trooper. Oh my gosh. Casper. He was in all of them. Yikes. Casper Van Dien, right? He had like a freaking chiseled like Ken doll face. I remember he was in Sleepy Hollow. Oh, I remember when he was Tarzan. I didn't watch the movie. I just remember the trailer. I thought that he'd be a bigger star than what he became. He still had a career, still doing stuff, but I just thought that he was going to be a bigger star. I'm sorry. Does that say Starship Troopers Extermination? Oh, it's a video game. That's right. You would want a video game where you're killing giant bugs, right? Starship Troopers Extermination is a pulse-pounding, base-building, objective-grabbing, co-op first-person shooter. Damn. Okay. Sounds fun. Have y'all played the game? How do you guys feel about this new remake? How do I feel? Well, considering what we got in 1997 and considering who is directing this, I feel like are going to look like 2 different movies for real, which could be a good thing. I would check out Starship Troopers, like especially considering District 9, how he did it in Chappie. I know that he can do well with CGI without going over the top with it. And he seems to really be honing in, again, following more of the book. So I think there's more that he wants to say about that versus like the bugs themselves. So, yeah. Run it. Let's go. You guys gonna watch it? Let me know. Our current event this week is actually movie related. Hollywood director arrested on charges of swindling Netflix out of $11 million for a show that never aired. Excuse me? What did you just say? Say that again in my good ear. So, a Hollywood writer-director was arrested this week for putting one over on Netflix. Oh my gosh. So not only did he steal the money, but he basically put it in cryptocurrency. It made a bunch of lavish purchases, including a fleet of Rolls Royces and a Ferrari. Including a fleet of Rolls Royces and a Ferrari. Forgive me, guys. Forgive my ignorance. How much is a fleet of cars? Like, how much is a fleet of cars? Apparently a minimum of 5 vehicles constitutes a fleet. So he purchased at least 5 Rolls Royces. Why? Couldn't tell you. Let's dive in more. Carl Eric Rinsch. Does that name sound familiar? Despite my bad pronunciation? Well, perhaps for some of you it will, because he directed the film 47 Ronin. The one with Keanu Reeves as a samurai. I think he was helping to save a bunch of samurai or something. I obviously didn't watch the movie, so couldn't tell you. But it involved samurais and swords and fighting and looked cool with Keanu Reeves. That same guy. So they charged him with wire fraud and money laundering. Oof. In a scheme to defraud the streaming giant Netflix. Now, I am not a huge lover and defender of big studios, or big streaming platforms that want to, just strip things away from the little guy. But you can't steal from people. You just can't. Netflix initially paid $44 million to purchase an unfinished show called White Horse, but eventually doled out another $11 million after he said he needed the additional cash to complete the show. But instead of using the extra money to wrap up everything, he transferred it to like a brokerage account and made a series of failed investments. Dog. He lost about half of it in 2 months. What? Okay. All right. So his IMDb page says nothing about White Horse. Not in production, not post-production, nothing. He was the director of an episode of a TV series called Conquest, which is upcoming. That's going to be awkward. The other half, he dumped into cryptocurrency. And I know what you're thinking. Why? However, this was actually a good move for him because he made money doing that. And he transferred the earnings into a personal bank account. And that was that. Okay. He spent about $10 million on personal expenses and luxury items in a spending spree that included about $1.8 million on credit card bills, $1 million on lawyers to sue Netflix for more money. What? Hold up. You take my money, misappropriate it, basically stealing it from me, and then you hire a lawyer to get more money out of me?
Right to jail, right away.
$3.7 million on furniture and antiques. All right. I don't know if you guys know this or not, so let me just clear the air. I am not a millionaire. I am not a 100,000-aire either. So perhaps I am out of touch with how much furniture costs for the upper echelons in society. But $3.7 million feels like a lot. I know that it includes antiques. It's still $3.7 million. And when you say antiques, how antique-y are these things? You know what I'm saying? Is it like the first toothbrush the programs use? Like, I don't know. I don't understand. I don't get it. $2.4 million for 5. See, okay, I was right. Fleet. All you need is 5 cars for it to be considered a fleet. $2.4 million for 5 Rolls Royces and 1 Ferrari. And $652,000 on watches and clothes. Well, considering that you will probably only be wearing a jumpsuit for the next some odd years, that was a waste. You don't need all those clothes. He was arrested in West Hollywood and is set to appear in federal court in California. Oh my gosh. I think either this week or next week. And his indictment was filed in New York. Yo, Carl, my dude, what was the plan? Like, were you going to change your identity and move and live in some secluded island like some former CIA agent on the run? Like, the audacity to steal that money and then hire somebody to get more money. Like that, my brain cannot comprehend. Like, what am I missing here? There's something that I am not seeing or not understanding with this story because it is not computing. I don't get it. Well, it kind of makes you want to watch 47 Ronin. I can't even be like, oh, times got hard for you. So here's the thing. They're suing him for $11 million because it says that he received they paid $44 million to purchase the show and then paid an extra $11 million. Don't you wish now, Netflix, that you had bought my show? The Zombie Chronicles would have been way cheaper. That's okay. It's on Tubi now. You guys can watch it for free. I'll put the link in the description and the comments. It says Netflix declined to comment. Of course, I lost, I don't know, 44 or 11 or $55 million. I ain't talking to nobody. I'm not in the mood. Be gone. And how does this affect, moving forward, other directors and other creatives that have deals or are working with Netflix? And is this kind of a little bit of karma for how they treated the creator of Squid Games? Because they tried that man to the fullest. I'm not saying that you should steal. Don't steal. This is not good. Bad. But what I'm saying is, seed you sow, good or bad, come back to you. So you swindled that man out of some money and rights to his own work and things that, regarding Squid Games because of where he was when he came to you. And now you got. It's poetic. Isn't it weird that I'm even more interested now in his concept of what the show White Horse is? Like, what did you pitch to Netflix for them to be like, yeah, paying for that $44 million? Because it's not real. It's not here anywhere. It doesn't even show that you were working on it. So what is White Horse about? I gotta know. All right, guys, tell me what you think about this story. And would you dare steal $11 million from Netflix and stay in the same country? If you run in the scam or whatever, are you getting over on people? You don't go flashing it around. My dude was buying freaking cars and jewelry and clothes like he was in a rap video. What are you doing? All right. Let me know you guys' thoughts on this. Weird. And finally, our tech story. The reason you guys are really still here. TikTok. What's going on with that? Oracle is reportedly in the lead to save TikTok from US ban. Tell me more. So Oracle is currently closing on a deal that would have it vouch for TikTok's security in exchange for a small stake in the company's US operations, according to Bloomberg. This guarantees that an updated US version of TikTok would not contain a backdoor that China's government could exploit. All right, so for those that don't know, which is TikTok, I don't know how you guys wouldn't know. I feel like you guys know even more than I do at this point. But the ban that occurred on January 19 or whenever it was, that had to go offline for a bit and then come back, that was just another delay. Everything isn't settled with TikTok. So everything needs to be settled by April 5th, I think it was. The administration had only extended it to April 5th. So now, if you check your watches, that's in a couple weeks. So they got to kind of make some moves, do something. Now, it says that this deal would leave the algorithm with TikTok's China-based parent company ByteDance, which is interesting considering there was some chatter when TikTok came back online that the algorithm had changed, that things didn't run the way they were before. Now, I don't know if it's still that way, if it kind of regulated itself and it's back to being how it normally is, because I'm on TikTok, but I'm not on it too much. You know what I mean? Like, I scroll here and there, I take a look, but I don't do enough to establish any kind of algorithm for myself. So I wouldn't even notice a change. So if it's still doing what it was doing, where it's not showing you what it used to show you, let me know. I'd be curious to know. So apparently China knows about the deal. They're fully aware. and says that the country's authorities will only approve if TikTok's algorithm remains fully under China's control. That's interesting. That's very interesting, considering how different the algorithms for China's app and our app works. They push a lot of positive, healthy, personal, growth type of stuff to their people. And over here, but I do feel like there's been a shift. Again, TikTok used to be like a dancing app, and look how it's evolved. Right? People are not getting their news from TikTok. They're getting information from TikTok. They're creating communities on TikTok. There's a lot you can learn, like the recipes, like conspiracy theories, actual, coverage and news. And I say conspiracy theories because but some of them are just theories. Truth be told, I think it was the CIA who created the term conspiracy theory, but that's another video, another topic for another day. Now, TikTok previously attempted to, help with security concerns by routing U.S. user data through Oracle servers as part of an initiative called Project Texas. Now, that began in 2022, but I guess it wasn't enough because they said even with that in place, there were reports that still claim that Chinese employees could access U.S. user data, and the effort was surface level. Like it was just to appease you. It didn't really do anything or make a difference. That didn't go over too well. Let's see. Now, last week, Vice President J.D. Vance said there will almost certainly be a high-level agreement that I think satisfies our national security concerns by the April 5th deadline to save TikTok. President Donald Trump approved of Oracle's bid for TikTok when he initially began targeting the app in 2020. So basically, it looks like the president is on board for this exchanging for this deal of Oracle, which I guess is a good indication that TikTok is going to be around and not go anywhere. The algorithm thing is the thing that I'm very much more interested in. Is that addressed in the deal? Will they allow China to have control? You can't have our data, but you can control what our people see. Doesn't really sound that great either, does it? So I'm not entirely sure how well this is going to go over in the long run, if it's going to be worth it. I don't know. I just know that I pop in every once in a while. Well, not once in a while. I think I'm more consistent now. I usually post like 4 or 5 times a week now on TikTok. Drop a little snippet, exchange some funny little videos and memes, and pick up some information. So I don't want to see it going away per se. I would just like, to be regulated a little bit better. And if possible, maybe we could kind of sift through and weed out more of the very questionable, alarming, like age inappropriate or negative things. But here's the thing. How would you even be able to control censorship on that with like, oh, I'm not 13, I'm 18, because where's the proof? Unless you want a driver's license. And then if you want all that, why would you want to give that to the app? Like, okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. Anyway. I think this is going to be fine. I think TikTok is going to be fine. It's too much of a moneymaker. It's too much of an opportunity for it to get completely shut down. What they're looking for is ways to control it and make it benefit them, as with anything else. Now, the question is, will that turn it into something else? Will it end up becoming a Facebook or an Instagram? And as somebody who kind of uses Facebook and definitely uses Instagram, it's a little frustrating because it's like, okay, I have, I think 400, almost 500 followers on my Real Movie Lovers Instagram, and then like 1,400 something followers on my NXG Global Productions Instagram. And when I post something, I'm getting anywhere from 10 to 15 likes. Outside of like the recaps of the IG, the lives. Other than the recaps of like the live conversations I have with guests about movies, those tend to do well because they're bringing in their guests. They see their eyes to, their audience sees them, and but outside of that, like maybe 10 to 20 likes, because most people aren't seeing my stuff because the algorithm wants to show you what it wants to show you and recommend other accounts to you that you don't even follow, which isn't horrible, but the ratio sucks. You know what I mean? Like, how about for every 5 or 6 posts from people that I do follow, you show me one from somebody that I don't recommend, I don't know. We'll see. All right. Let me know what you guys think about this. Are you worried about the TikTok ban? Are you kind of like me where you're like, you keep saying something about it, but you don't. You just keep extending it. So you're trying to make it work. You're going to make it work. All right. Let me know. All right. That's a wrap for another week. Thank you guys so much for hanging in there. Thank you for all the love. I appreciate you guys so much. If you really like this video and you kind of like hanging out with me, hit that like button. Subscribe. Ring the notification bell so you can always be up to date on what's going on. And many thanks to my upper level Patreon members, Von, Kurt, and Thelma. Thank you so much for all your support. I appreciate you guys. And for those of you who want to join our community over there and want to also help support, hit me up. Join my Patreon. I have different levels, different memberships, different perks and bonuses. I drop behind the scenes. I drop videos. I drop information, extended videos, all the fun things. And I'm currently in a transition stage where I am opening the doors for what you guys would like to see more of from me over there, whether it is more information on writing, filming, producing, editing, whether it's extended videos or more breakdowns of movies and TVs. Let me know what you guys want from me, and I will make sure to oblige. All right, check you guys later. Bye.